What is going on, everyone? ChatGPT AI, you probably have been hearing about it for the past couple months. Some of you are probably using it. Others of you are probably like, what is this all about? How do I even come up with prompts? Well, in today's training, I have an amazing guest that has done so much homework when it comes to ChatGPT and AI, and she's going to be sharing with us all of her tips, her tricks, her strategies so that you can implement them in your real estate business right now. Now, before I get started, if you're brand new to this group, welcome. Make sure to introduce yourself. We have trainings coming up every single Wednesday this month. This is the very first one. So just stay tuned and be on the lookout in the group for what's going to be coming up next. So without further ado, let me introduce Becky Labret.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Becky. So for everyone that's watching, go ahead and give us a little introduction about yourself so that we can get to know you a little bit.
Totally. So I am an active real estate agent, but I haven't always been in real estate. I've been an educator in past lives. I still do a lot of training and education. It's part of my passion. I got my MBA and a master's in human resource design, actually at the college that I'm at right now, Claremont Colleges, which is kind of funny. I grabbed a little study room for that, but I love teaching, I love business, and I love its application to real estate. I think it's very topical in a lot of ways because we are entrepreneurs as realtors, and not all of us turn on that switch of thinking of ourselves as business owners. So, for me, that is truly a passion of mine as a practitioner in real estate, and also as somebody who studies business and new technologies.
That's awesome. And I know that ChatGPT right now is a really exciting topic that everyone is talking about. I know that you and I and Michelle did a training a couple of weeks ago and everyone absolutely loved it. So for those of you that are watching, whether it's live or the replay, get your pen and your paper ready because you're probably going to want to take a lot of notes. Everything right now that is being streamed is being recorded and will be in the group. I'm not sure if it's going to stay there for a lifetime or I might be removing this specific training after 2 or 3 days. So that's why if you're able to join right now, ask questions. We're going to save the questions for the end. We're going to be popping them on the screen. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and remove myself. And Becky, you can go ahead and take over.
Thank you. And to your point too, the training, I think it's interesting that you might be removing it too, which actually makes a ton of sense because this information changes on a day-to-day basis right now as we're talking about ChatGPT, AI, and its impact on the industry. So if the training was even left on for a week or so, then you might be behind, just behind in general. So I'm going to go ahead right now and share my screen so that I can begin a little bit of my presentation for you guys so that we can all dive in. So here we go, AI and ChatGPT for real estate. So the intention of this presentation is to make this as high level as possible while giving you some actionable tools so that you can go and use it in your business right away. So let's talk first about ChatGPT and what it actually stands for. It's Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And if you drop that in any conversation right now, people will be like, oh, this person knows what's up. So why is this such a big deal right now? And it's coming up in a lot of podcasts. People are talking about, there's tons of articles. So why is it a big deal? Well, ChatGPT has been around for quite a long time, and the AI generative technologies have been around a lot of time, but not all of us are engineer minded. So we have to understand how to use it and talk to it. So think about it as a garbage in, garbage out type device. Whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So learn how to talk to your AI. ChatGPT is like it is an AI. It collaborates with a lot of AI. It uses data sets from the internet, and it'll continue to grow. And I'll talk a little bit about the two different kinds of ChatGPT right now that are offered. There's more versions that are coming, but really the quality of what you ask determines what you're going to get. And this in and of itself is called prompt engineering, which we're going to talk a lot about. So this is a big concern in real estate right now. AI is going to replace us. It is not. One of the things that I studied in my undergrad and graduate work is the basic idea of knowledge work. This isn't in the presentation, but we are, as realtors, we are knowledge workers. We're the ones that collect information, we gather data, we gather all of this great stuff so we can demonstrate our value to our clients. That is not a replaceable skill. But what is replaceable is if you're an agent who does not start to adopt these technologies or at least understand them, then you will be replaced by another agent who will. So that's one of the big takeaways. I definitely want everybody who's listening to think about and consider AI is not going to replace us, but another agent who is capable and uses the technology will. So the very basics of the difference between ChatGPT, a search engine, a lot of people come to the technology thinking that, oh, you can just ask it something like Google and it'll spit out an answer. It is not a search engine. It's more of like a thought partner. And I'm going to help illustrate the differences between the two. But for now, I want to kind of go through a few of the things that ChatGPT and AI can help in your business. So there's tons of things. There's lead generation, SOI follow-up, team onboarding, nurturing. I can go through this list, but I know you can read it too. But a couple of the things that I think are most interesting and that we're going to touch in the presentation today are listing presentations, creating conversation outputs with difficult clients, and developing a marketing plan. So again, when we started out with this training, we wanted to give you some actionable things that you can use ChatGPT and AI for immediately in your business. And listing presentations are absolutely something that you can take away from this right away. So think of ChatGPT as more of a time saver. It's like the extra nerdy friend who always wins all the trivia. That person just tends to know a lot, can collect information, and get you a result potentially that you're looking for. So it's a collaborative type partner more than anything. And what that allows you to do is to focus on the high value activities in your business, which is creating relationships, generating leads, following up, giving people gifts, all of that stuff, door knocking, whatever it is, your high value is getting in front of the client, creating that relationship, and of course, synthesizing it with new data. And ChatGPT is going to be a partner for you in that. So let's talk first about developing a marketing plan. Marketing plans are something we as real estate agents absolutely need to develop. If you haven't developed your marketing plan, it's okay. Most people haven't, but think about it in terms of it's your business plan. You're a business person. A business person has a certain budget for how much they can spend on marketing. You have to develop a plan throughout the year so that you can understand what activities that you're going to do throughout the year within a specific budget. So how can you develop a marketing plan using ChatGPT? Well, first of all, there are some differences between what search does and ChatGPT. So for instance, if you're putting something in Google, like a search, your query, which is your input, would be, how do I create a 6-month marketing plan for real estate? Okay, that's probably something that we would do in that case. Whereas with ChatGPT, you have to be very specific with the marketing plan, what the output is. And you can notice how differently I'm talking basically to ChatGPT versus how I'm inputting a search into Google. So ChatGPT, can you please develop a 6-month marketing plan that's focused on seasonality for a 2-person team that includes these follow-up strategies, calls, texts, YouTube videos, Instagram and email newsletters. So notice how specific I am getting with ChatGPT. I'm telling ChatGPT I'm only a 2-person team. I need to focus on seasonality. I only want a 6-month marketing plan. So I'm trying to make it very specific. So this is an illustration of what those outputs generated, just so you can see the difference. On the left-hand side, you're going to see ChatGPT and the output that it delivered. It was much longer than what I'm showing here, but I wanted to give you an idea. Look how nice and cool ChatGPT is. Certainly, there's a 6-month marketing plan focused on seasonality, and continues to go on. So month 1, here's your spring plan, and then it goes month 2 all the way to month 6, which is really cool. Check out the output for Google. Can you please develop a 6-month marketing plan? And it sends me to a Hootsuite template, which is perfectly great. This is how the output is going to turn out, but you have to figure out how you want to use it. If you want to pull a template from Google or maybe a video or something like that, this could be a good strategy for you. But if you want almost a thought partner, like an assistant, that's going to help you develop that plan, then ChatGPT might be more beneficial for you. And there's nobody to say you can't use both in tandem, because I do. That's us using our tools to the best of our ability. Now, secondly, and once I talk through this, I'm going to work on doing a live demonstration on this. So bear with me with my technology. But this is the second item that we discussed talking about, is creating a listing presentation using ChatGPT and some AI functionality, which I'm going to show you about. So here are the differences, again, between inputting into a search function versus using ChatGPT and Gamma AI technology, which I will share with you. Again, it's generalized versus very specific. The query for this search in a Google basically would be, what is a topic to discuss for a listing presentation? So I tried to make it as general as possible to understand what the best results might be for search. In ChatGPT, because I'm creating it for Gamma, you are a listing specialist. So I'm telling my ChatGPT assistant, you're a specialist for the Southern California real estate market, which I'm a realtor in, and you have a big listing presentation to make for a new prospective client. What are the topics? What are the top topics that will help you win the business? So this was something I thought was pretty fun. And you can see I misspelled it over there on the left-hand side. I misspelled business, and it still understood what I was talking about. That's totally fine. And so it gave me some high-level, topics to discuss as far as a business plan. Or as far as a listing presentation, local market expertise, comparable sales, marketing strategy, home preparation, staging, and it goes on. However, when I input that into Google, now you can see what the results are. This is not something that is really helping me design my plan, because what I'm really trying to do is get to that listing presentation so that I can grab the topics and put it into a slide deck. And this gets into the topic of Gamma. Gamma is that technology I was telling you about, which is another kind of thought partner in a way to use in combination with ChatGPT. So now you'll see that the flow chart of all of it basically is I entered information into ChatGPT to get an output, and now I'm going to utilize this totally free technology, by the way, called Gamma, to help me develop a listing presentation. And so, again, we have our initial prompt here, and then and this is you understanding the technology, me having to understand the technology, the way that Gamma AI works, it only allows you to put in 300 characters for your listing presentation. So because that's the case, I went back to ChatGPT and I asked it, great, in the same thread, I said, can you give me 300 characters or less, this presentation that you gave me, basically that, just give it to me in 300 characters or less. So I'm prompting it in a very specific way for what the input for Gamma AI is going to be, so I can get the correct output for the presentation. And so you'll see here that it output table of contents, basically, an outline, and then I continued forward, and then it gives me a theme to pick out. So I'm going to, for illustrative purposes, I want to show you my ChatGPT here, and I'm just using the 3.5 version for this. So you can see in real time, this is my thread here, and it gives me this, beautiful high-level listing presentation. And then you can see, as I did in the presentation, I said, can you give this to me in 300 characters or less? I'm going to copy and paste it here, and I'm going to go to ChatGPT or to Gamma, and I wanted to show you in real time how easy this is to do. And it shouldn't be, you shouldn't be intimidated by it at all. I'm copying and pasting it. This is my 300 characters or less prompt, and I'm saying send. And so it's giving me this outline, and I'm saying, yes, this sounds good. These are the topics I want you to discuss. And then I say, continue. And then I say, can you please click, or can you please, pick a theme for me? And I like to go as light as possible because it's just easier on the eyes, and you can make changes in any way. I tend to like blue, or you could surprise me. And then you continue. And so this is the kind of really cool part where you can get this really great high level roadmap of a presentation that is based off of an outline, which is based off of 300 characters that you created, which is based off of a winning listing presentation prompt that you inputted into ChatGPT. So again, I wanted to illustrate how the combination between these two technologies is going to save you a lot of time. When you pull together listing presentations, when you pull together any kind of presentation, I'm going to go scroll to the top so you can kind of see it. But I mean, it has a very great, subject line. It's very professional. It pulls pictures, which, by the way, are probably not copy. They're probably copywritten. So you just kind of got to be careful. You don't present it in big masses. It hasn't been scrubbed for that. But it has these amazing professional looking roadmaps. So if you don't have access to professional presentations from your broker or otherwise, this is a really cool tool to make it very customizable. And, I think it gives a lot of value to you and the client in a lot of ways. So again, it's not something to be intimidated by when we're working through that technology. It should be more of a thought partner, if anything. Gamma is not the all-in-one solution. I'll explain this a little further down. It's not a presentation, and any AI is not something you just grab off the printer and go, because there's misspellings in there, there's grammatical things that are in there that are not great. You still have to read through it and make sure that it's up to par. But again, if you've ever managed an employee or managed an assistant or something, think of these technologies as assistants. You still have to be the knowledge worker in all of this and make some decisions for yourself and your business. So the last way that I'm going to chat about is communication. Chat about communication. So communication is one of those things. I got my undergrad in psychology. I love business psychology too. So communication, relationship development, all of that stuff is super fascinating to me, because I think us as realtors, we have a really big opportunity to connect with our clients in different ways. So one thing that I did kind of before I get into this is I want to show you how I created a thread for creating a clinical psychologist using a DISC profile. Because I wanted to understand my clients a little better. I wanted to understand and create intake forms so that I can make sure that I have the right kind of clients, and that I'm talking to them in the way that they want to be spoken to. So this is something that DISC can really help with. So I prompted this ChatGPT thread here to be a clinical psychologist who understands disc profiles. So I went down the thread, it gave me some information again. You can see I'm collaborating with it. I'm kind of going back and forth, asking for some intake on all of this information. And so I took this information, and you'll see how I'm starting to train it to speak with a client of mine. I took all that information, and I'll put it here, and I created a stream where I had a difficult client that I was working with who was a high D type personality, super driver. And I'm not that way. I'm more influence, and I like people to get along and all of that stuff. So I had to understand how I communicate with this person over text. So I asked ChatGPT to readjust my text to Monique, given that she is a high D. And so it kept going, and then it said, can you make it shorter and more succinct? And this is the response it gave me, which was absolutely perfect. I pretty much copied and pasted it and sent it over to her. And that's kind of what she needed. Some people don't like the whole, long text streams or emails. And that's just a way we can kind of learn how to collaborate with this assistant, basically, to learn how to communicate to our clients in a way. The other item, like I said, in that same chat, that same clinical psychologist chat, was I've been starting to create client intake forms within that chat. So now I have an intake form. I'm trying to understand, how I can figure out if this person is, going to be a high D, or, how they handle stress, or how they handle big decisions. How do they want to be talked to? How do they want to be communicated to? So all of that information is going to help me and you guys, if you choose to do something like that, start to collaborate more beneficially to our clients and get us closer to close, which is what we all want to do. And so I thought that one was pretty fun. So again, best practices for utilizing this technology. The prompts matter a lot. So thinking of ourselves as like an engineer in some ways, garbage in, garbage out. What are we putting into the technologies that we're using? How does it want to be talked to? How does ChatGPT want to be spoken to? And it's different than how Google wants to be spoken to. Same with Gamma wants to be spoken to in a different way, in 300 characters or less. So find out first, how that technology wants to be spoken to, and then, utilize the skills that you have to do that. The free version, which is the one that I've been using, is 3.5, and the data cutoff for that is September 2021. What that means is ChatGPT has no information that is current from 2021 to present. And so you just have to think about that. Do you need current data? Do you need current statistics when you're working through this technology? If you don't, I tend to use the free version just fine, and I'm okay with it. My husband has access to the 4.0 version or 4.5 version. I forgot what it was called right now, but we use it sometimes, and I think it's great. I think there's a lot that could be said for that, but as you're playing with it and starting to learn to use it, jump into the free version and see how it works. And you'll notice in my ChatGPT, there's a lot of different chats. So this is something a lot of people don't know, is every new topic needs a new chat. So when you create chats, the same kind of chat within a chat with the same topics, you're not training that chat in the way that you want it to. So you'll notice I have my clinical psychologist chat, I have my winning listing presentation chat, I have my Southern California, marketing chat. Make sure that you create new topics per chat, or new chats per topic. And, make sure you edit the ChatGPT output, and the same with Gamma or any other AI that you use, because it is not perfect. It is still kind of learning. It's learning you, it's learning how you talk. It kind of has its own voice. You can train it to have different voices and personalities and stuff like that. But just make sure you edit it, proofread it. It sometimes has misspellings, and stay on top of it. So, it's going to change. It's continuing to change really quickly. new technologies are coming out. And so as the knowledge workers, as realtors, we do have to stay on top of this kind of stuff because it will make our lives a lot easier. This is a high level of a couple of different kind of basics that are in development right now that I want to go ahead and share with you guys. So if you want, and there's more pages to this, trying to create this in a way that's easy for agents to kind of take and go as they can. But the way that I, kind of worked on developing this, I wanted to give you guys a couple of very simple prompts that you can start to play with and help you understand how to start training some of your chats. So you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's roles, topics, levels of expertise. When you think about training your ChatGPT or chat, think about yourself or think about the chat as, for instance, a buyer's agent who specializes in marketing. Maybe they have a low level of expertise in the field. And, what might you deliver to, or maybe they have a high level of expertise in the field. What might you deliver to your buyer, or what might you deliver to the listing agent? So those are the kinds of things that you can start to train your ChatGPT to do. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities here. So think about it in terms of rules, topics, expertise. You can also train it to have a certain style. So you can see on the right-hand side, you'll see style. You can say, be formal or informal, persuasive. I love the humorous part. You can also play with one that said you're a 90s rapper. And be casual, or you're speak to my clients for my newsletter in an 8th grade type of understanding, or 8th grade level, so that it doesn't go over people's heads. So that is kind of the stuff that we can start to do with it. I love the fact that these techniques, I love the be kind part. I know that comes up. Some people laugh at me about that. And you'll notice how nice ChatGPT is in our responses. When you say please and thank you and stuff, be nice to your AI, be nice to ChatGPT, because, I don't know. I think I almost do it because I hear my son, kind of in the background. I want to make sure that he knows that I'm being kind, but I feel like the output generally is a lot better when you are kind and courteous. So think about that as you're communicating with the AI, as we're playing with a lot of these. And then the last, I'm going to go over here and just, talk about clarifying questions. These are also important. At the end of the chat, ask ChatGPT if they understand. Do you have a better prompt for what I just prompted you? Can you revise my prompt? What information am I missing? So again, think about it as an assistant, as a thought partner, and you're going to go a long way. There's a lot of information that I'm collecting on ChatGPT, a lot of other stuff in this platform that we have. It's called Lotus Launch. It's specifically for real estate agents. And again, I take a combination with, my education and business, my love for real estate, and my love for technology. And I desire to create a relationship-based approach to real estate. So there's a lot of courses in here. There's interviews with top agents and all of this kind of stuff. A lot of the ChatGPT stuff is in here too. Right now we're offering a free 2-month trial when you sign up. So I hope to see more of you there. There's information that's being added every week. And I'm in it and chatting with people. So I hope you do decide to join. Here's the QR code for some great content. Again, you log in, there's 2 months free, there's no credit card required. And please stay in touch. There's all my information. You can book appointments for chat, whatever, just get in touch with me if you want to keep the conversation going. I hope that I do see you guys on the platform though, and hope this was informative. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my share and switch everything over.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Becky. For those of you that are watching, the chat, everyone's like, wow. One of the things that still has me amazed is Gamma, because I had not heard about it. And when you just copy and paste it, what ChatGPT gave you and how everything just populates and you're like, oh my goodness, like how did I not have this before? I feel like it's definitely a game changer. So right now we're going to open it up for questions. If anyone has questions regarding Gamma, once again, if you can just confirm, does it have to be checked for copyright, the pictures, or is everything one of a kind?
Well, probably check for copyright. When I put my presentations together, I usually use Pixel or something that just kind of has some like free, nice images. This doesn't check for that. And I don't think that you're going to get in trouble for using it. If it's just a personal presentation to a client, I would say it's fine. If you're posting it on a giant like Jumbotron or something like and charging tickets for it, like you're going to get in trouble for that. So it's probably okay.
There you go. And then everyone says, excellent. We have a comment. This was something I didn't know I needed. That's how I felt. And you guys, yeah. So keep the questions coming. We're probably going to hold on for like one more minute, but obviously you see there Becky's Instagram. Go ahead and follow her there. Your website, if you can repeat it one more time where people can go and sign up for the trial.
Yes, it's lotuslaunchre.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
lotuslaunchre.com.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just putting excellent.
Oh,
everybody love this. No, this was great. And if you're watching this, this is one of the reasons that I have created this group and this community to showcase agents like you guys, like Becky. Next week we have Tatiana. She's a transaction coordinator out here in Florida, and she's going to be sharing some tips so that agents know how to be better with their paperwork and managing and using a transaction coordinator. So if you are finding these trainings helpful, let me know, drop a comment, follow Becky, leave us a comment in this Facebook group so we know that these are helpful. And Becky, I know that you have to get going because you businesswoman, you got to handle that. You got some clients.
I still practice in real estate, so I got to go get my buyers a house.
Nice. Well, hopefully you get it under contract.
Let's get those deals. Come on,
yes. Yes. So once again, this training will be up in this group probably for the next day or two. So take the time to rewatch it, take some notes because it's probably going to be gone by Friday. If you remember in the beginning, even Becky said, the information is always changing. So maybe later on, we're going to do another training with more updated information. And yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed this training today. It was 30 minutes, a lot of great packed information. Rewatch it. Share it, give some props to Becky, add her on Instagram, check out her website. And thank you again, Becky, for being here and for everyone that was able to tune in.
Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to hearing from some of you.
Yes, awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you.
Bye.